Welcome to this week's episode of Midwest Whitetail, the Heartland Show. We have a weather front that's just starting to settle in here in southeast Iowa and really across the entire Midwest. They're actually forecasting to have some potential low temps in single digits with the wind chill, which I don't care how many clothes you own. When it comes down to it, you can only wear so many into the actual tree stand. So I wish everyone luck as they kind of continue to fight through some of these tough conditions that they're having. I feel like we have a really action-packed episode for you this week. We have a lot of footage that's really rolling in, obviously coming into the end of October, early November time frame. Now approaching the peak part of the rut. We have a lot of footage that's really rolling in, so we have some great encounters to share with you. Before we get to that tonight, I wanted to give everyone a quick update on kind of where my season's at this point in time. I've had some great encounters with some of my target bucks. To start the season off, I was really targeting a buck that I was calling Shrimp, just a big mature 8-pointer. It just felt like for an early season target, he was such a good one because he was on such a pattern where he kept doing the same thing over and over. And then shortly after that, I actually had an encounter with my #1 hit list buck, Turkey. But we really didn't have a lot of daylight activity on him. He was very nocturnal at the end of October. But then one day, and of course the day that he did become daylight was a day that I was sitting in a location where I wasn't expecting him necessarily to be. And on my way into the stand that day, I had actually broken my sight on my bow. So I tried to kind of piecemeal it together on the way out there. I actually shot some practice shots out in the actual field itself to see where I was at, kind of got it back together. And of course, on a day like that, that's when you're going to get your opportunity of a buck at that caliber. Fortunately, I didn't injure him or anything like that, shot right underneath him, but that was kind of tough to see all that kind of come together like that. We're going to kick off today's episode by going down to southern Iowa and checking in on Thad DeMoss as he works his way through his rutcation. After that, Matt Dykstras is going to give us an update on his season, and then we're going to go across the river and check in on Kane Gillette in Illinois, where he's had several great encounters with several great deer. And then to close out tonight's episode, Brooks Kehoe is able to close the deal on a great public land buck.
Hello and welcome to Midwest Whitetail, the Heartland. Today is November 7th, and some say that's the best day of the rut to hunt in November. We're sitting back in here on an oak ridge this morning, and it's a real pretty morning. It's right in the low 30s, and we got a light north wind right now. We've actually had some deer moving to our south here a little bit, kind of southeast. There's a really nice 10-pointer in here. Got some stickers off his G2s. And a couple years ago, this is an area where we had an encounter with our hit list buck, Pitchfork. And I haven't got him on camera this year at all. Last year, I know he was live, but he had never showed up on cameras this year, so I'm not sure where he's ended up at. But I'm gonna probably sit in here most of the morning and hopefully we'll be seeing some good movement here. Well, it's about 8:20 here. I thought I'd give you guys an update here. It's been a pretty good morning. Actually, a really good morning. Oh, it's probably been an hour or so ago, maybe a little bit longer. We had a chase here to our north. It ended up being a doe and I'd say it's probably a 2.5 or 3.5-year-old buck. But they went down the hill a little ways, and then we got movement to our south and west. And it was that 10-point with the stickers off his G2s. He came in, and if he would have took the trail, there's a big oak tree back there. If he would have took the trail on the other side of it, on our side, I probably would have had a shot. But he was probably 50 where he was at, I'm guessing, when he went through the timber after that doe that just got bred. Been a super morning. Like I said, the conditions this morning are perfect. It's 39 degrees, and pressure's way up today. It's like 30.5. So definitely got these big boys up moving around. We just need to have a little luck and get one of them to come on one of these trails that's closer to us or respond to some calls. We're going to sit in here a while longer, and hopefully we'll have one on the ground by the end of it. Well, it's about 11 o'clock here, and I think we're going to go ahead and get down, let Brad get set up for the afternoon hunt, probably go back and get a bite to eat. All in all, I've had a really good morning. We'll probably get back down in this spot at some point. We're actually talking about moving this set about, probably 80 yards or so to the south. It seems like these deer are crossing that ridge instead of coming down here. So maybe if I get some time this week, we'll come over here and move this set or bring another set in. We'll be back up a little bit later. Thanks for watching Midwest Whitetail, Heartland.
Welcome to Midwest Whitetail. It's November 8th. It's just breaking daylight. This morning, I'm set up on the downwind side of a big bedding area, hoping to catch some bucks up cruising, looking for does. There's a couple bucks that I'm really looking for in here. One is a real big 7x5, and got pictures of him in here yesterday morning. So hopefully that'll come through here again. And there was also a real big 10 that was actually working a scrape, probably about 300 yards away, about an hour ago. So I'm hoping he comes this way. Definitely optimistic about this morning, so we're just gonna settle in here and see what happens. If that don't get your blood pumping on a cold November morning, I don't know what will. That was the top target, the buck we came in here after. We had pictures of him in here yesterday morning, so I was really hopeful we could have an encounter with him. as luck would have it, rather than come in on the trail that he did yesterday morning, he kind of slipped in directly behind the tree. He ended up looking up. We had to stare down for quite a while. But luckily for me, the sun was directly in his eyes, so I don't think he knew what I was. And he was also straight downwind. Thermals helped me out big time. He ended up getting by and worked his way down into the timber, so really, really blessed and cool to have an encounter with a deer like that, though. He's real big. I definitely feel like we have this deer figured out, though, so I'm just gonna keep grinding hard, and hopefully we'll just get another chance at that deer here soon. Well, it's 11 o'clock. It's been about a half hour since I saw that last buck cruise through here. And it's been a pretty decent sit. Saw 2 of the shooter bucks that are on this farm. And unfortunately, when that biggest one came through, he came from an area we weren't expecting, and there was a few limbs over here that were in the way that allowed him to slip right on by. And the second shooter ended up staying on the ridge over across that ditch. But I got sheds to both of those deer. It would have been really cool to get a shot at either one, but I definitely feel like we're in the right area, and it's just a matter of time before it all works out. I'm gonna get everything packed up and head to the next spot for this afternoon's hunt. Thanks for watching Midwest Whitetail. Swing tree. Turn right now. Swing. Wait, don't move, don't move. Alright guys, well, it was almost a perfect set. We got really close there on that buck.
I have no clue what deer that is. You know, it's one of those split second, make a decision. He looked mature, beautiful chocolate rack, and I felt the wind in that moment hit me in the back of the neck, and sure enough, he caught just enough of our scent. If he would have took those 2 more steps, I had a perfect 35-yard shooting lane right here. It's about as close as you can get. Matt. Alright guys, well it is about 10:30 now, and it's been an hour and a half since we had that encounter. What happened there, you know, as you guys see that the doe comes in, you know, when she committed to this trail right away and came right to us, and he held up there about, I don't know, 50, 60 yards, and by the time she got here and was starting to booger up, he had started to move in, but he was still about 45 and I had no shots. Kind of the story of my year right now is I needed one half step, not even a half step. I just had one branch in my way, and at that distance I just wasn't comfortable trying to squeeze it through there and, you know, possibly wounding the deer, so I held off on the shot. But man, what an awesome encounter.
Kane and I are doing a hang on here at my grandparents. We're in the set this morning. We had a bunch of trail camp pics here, bucks rolling through here, so history's past. Usually they cut through here cruising from big block of timber to big block of timber, and usually they return back on their cruise if they don't find a doe. So had a good buck roll through here about 12:15, just hoping to catch him on the way back through.
Today is Saturday, November 12th. I have John Lindstrom behind the camera since he's already tagged out on a big non-typical. But we're down here in southern Iowa on a piece of public land. John actually scouted it yesterday, saw a lot of good sign. So he was gracious enough to show me this spot. It is very cold, probably 24, 25 with 10 mile an hour, 10 to 15 northwest wind. We got snow flurries right now. Overcast, it just feels like a perfect day, but we're quite late setting up too. About 35 minutes late, but nothing's busted and we haven't seen anything yet. We think they'll come back late from the ag fields down on the bottom and work up, so feels like a good day. We'll hang out all morning here and see what could happen. It's getting late in the bow season, so anything that gets me excited might be getting an arrow through it. So we're super excited, and hopefully a good buck comes by today. got him. It's about 9 a.m. right now. We've seen big buck. He's gonna pop up this hill, John. Right here. Do you see him? Okay. I'm gonna wait till he's out here. Mark. Smoked him.
Great shot.
Smoked him. Go down. Go down. He's gonna fall there. He's done. He's done. Are you serious? Oh my god. What the heck? Oh, that's awesome. Holy smokes. So it was 9 a.m. We saw one spike to start the day. Didn't even get on footage. And we didn't see anything, been freezing, just talking. 9 a.m. I was like, John, I should probably do an interview, at least to show we're doing something. And right when I started talking, this buck comes up the hill. Comes in perfectly. Smokes him. He's like 75 yards away. Oh my gosh, that's awesome, dude. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
So cool.
So we just got down, gonna go find the buck. It looked like he only ran about 70 yards and died on the ridge there. So John actually came in here yesterday, scouted it. So big props to him. He saw some big rubs on this ridge here and thought it'd be a good spot this morning. So we're gonna go find the buck and have some fun getting him out of public land. He's pouring blood like we thought. He'll be right over this ridge down here, but kind of blood trail you want on a buck. G5 did its job. Oh, look at all that blood. There he is. Holy crap. That's an entrance hole. Jeez. There he is. Nice Iowa old 8-pointer. Big head on him. Burrs coming off the back. He'll do the trick, John. That's sweet. That is cool. Well, here he is, my first Iowa public land buck. John went and scouted this spot yesterday and saw a lot of good rubs, and it just looked like a good spot. And I had one morning here to go out, and John said he could film, so he said, let's go to this spot and give it a go. And we saw a spike early before we even had the camera out, and then dead. Nothing until 9 a.m. And I looked at John, I was like, let's do a quick interview and just kind of update on how the morning's going. Things could change real fast. And right when I started that interview, John says big buck, and here comes this old bruiser right out of the bottom, comes in perfectly, 25-yard shot, and probably made the best shot of my life on a deer. So super happy, super thankful for John for doing the scouting and coming to film this morning. But my first Iowa public land buck, and
I couldn't be happier.
We really appreciate you guys joining us this week on the Heartland Show. We look forward to continuing to bring you guys hunts throughout the season, as there's still a lot of November left yet and into the late season. So continue to check in on the Midwest Whitetail Regional page, and appreciate you guys joining us.